Welcome to the inaugural installment of the College Years Podcast within the Family Group Podcast. I'm joined by two good friends of mine, Zarek Porter and Haylee Perry. So do me a favor, introduce yourself. I already did the name, but take the time. Say your name again, just so people have it for the record. Your grade, what school you go to, and the approximate size of your school and your major. Get it started, Haylee.
Hi, I'm Haylee. We're actually recording. I am currently a senior at Capital University, majoring in middle childhood education. And Capital is a pretty small school. It's about 3,000 people.
Cool. Good stuff. What subjects would you like to teach?
Language arts and science. However, I don't really want to teach science.
So language arts.
Yeah.
Cool. Sounds good. Favorite book?
My favorite book it's The Giver by Lois Lowry. Great book. Great book.
That's a good book. Sorry, I was laughing because I thought of that one moment where
Right.
Sweet. Awesome. Thanks. Zarek?
My name is Zarek. I'm a junior at Wittenberg University. My major is psychology. Our school's pretty small.
Favorite Freudian theory?
There's like many because it's all like
Sounds like he doesn't know any of them.
Like you just kind of asked me a question. It's like I don't know.
Yeah, that's my job.
Oh yeah, I see.
Your
So,
job
like,
is to answer them.
Bunch of quotes out there, just not really on the dome right now.
Yeah, Freud. Yeah.
Okay. The schools, it's like about 2,500 people. So it's smaller than Haley's school. So yeah.
Springfield.
Springfield, Ohio.
What do you think of Springfield?
It's small. A lot of antique places. Yeah, it's like the downtown area is like actually pretty nice. Like there's a lot of nice little areas where like they have like graffiti on the walls, but it's like really nice artwork and stuff. Sometimes go down there and like take pictures or just chill down there. Like there's a bunch of coffee shops. So it's like it's like a vibe for real. It's like a vibe.
We love a vibe. Well, good stuff. Well, thank you for joining me. I should probably introduce myself. My name is Cam. I am a super senior at The Ohio State University. For those of you who don't know, it's a very large school, about 50 or 60,000 kids, which is insane, especially during these times. And I'm majoring in social work, so love being social.
And working.
My favorite social thing is that. So cool. Well, as I mentioned at the beginning, college is certainly not easy, and some of you have expressed to me backstage that today has been a bit of a day. How are things going, Haylee? Talk to me.
They're rough. Today's been a rough day. I started my day off by choking on my breakfast sandwich. And in the process of choking on it, the sausage and egg went up my nose. And then I sneezed it out. So it was a painful but also relieving experience.
For sure.
Yeah.
I can imagine. Yeah, I've gotten a booger stuck up there, and it just makes you.
Yeah, it's not the same thing. It was very different.
It was a sausage chunk?
Yeah, it was a large chunk too. It was really gross. It was like sausage and egg, like they were stuck together in like in a bite.
Were you by your lonesome, or were you on a Zoom call?
I was by myself preparing to get on my Zoom call.
That would have been way worse if you were on Zoom.
It's okay, you know.
Well, good stuff. How are you doing, Zarek? What's going on?
Nothing much. I had an 8 a.m. class this morning. Woke up for that. Kind of boring, but it was still like, gotta wake up for it.
Yeah, what is it about 8 a.m.s? Like, how come when we're in college, 8 a.m.s are impossible, but we did classes every single day in high school before 8 a.m.? What do you think the difference is?
I wondered that every time because, like, in high school, like, I woke up 6:30 in the morning and then get to class at 7:30, and we start at 7:30. So, like, I don't know what it is. I think it's just, like, you're just by yourself, maybe. And, like,
I think it's, like, the vibe that everybody else gives off. Like, everybody else hates 8 a.m.s. So then I'm like, okay, this sucks. I don't like it anymore. Yeah.
I must hate 8 a.m.s. Yeah, that's fair. I also think we're old. We've aged. Yeah, we've aged in a way that, waking up. But that's also not true. There's old people that wake up at like 4:30. So maybe age is not the issue. Well, I'm glad you're here, and I'm glad you're in one piece, and I'm glad you have that sausage out of your nose.
Me too.
So I want to talk about, besides the challenges of college, I want to talk about some of the things that make college so great. Because quite frankly, it's a great time. And a lot of adults talk about college being the best years of their life. So I wanted to ask you a little bit about what you think makes college so underrated. Okay, so what is the most underrated thing about college in your opinion?
I am a big fan of free stuff. And college is expensive. Capital specifically is very expensive. It's a private school. And there's just so much free stuff involved. I have probably at least 50 t-shirts that I've collected over my 4 years, well, like 3.5 years, from like free events. And there's so much free food, so many free events to get free food at. And usually, I just go to them for the food. So
right, and they don't ask questions.
Not a single one.
You're able to just acquire the free things without.
It's a great time.
Yeah,
and sometimes you have to like fake interest in like what like sometimes you have to be like, oh yeah, I'm totally interested in this sorority. Please give me your ice cream,
Yeah. That sounds awful.
Good. It's fine.
Free stuff. Zarek?
Honestly, just the connections, like being at a smaller school, it's just like you know so many people, you see people like every day. Like some people say it's like high school, but just bigger in a sense. I know like my whole floor, we was just all like one big group of friends, and we would just like hang out with each other in one person's room, or like going out to a party. Like you go to a different party, you meet other people, then you end up seeing those same people from that party in the cafeteria or something. And just building that connection. I think my favorite years was definitely freshman year, just because like it was so fun just meeting everybody and being friends with people. Like it's great.
Yeah, and to take from both of those, I think what it speaks to is the amount of free time you have. Like college is a whole different beast in terms of how much time you have to do whatever you want. Can either of you speak to some of the challenges or the good things that come from all of that free time?
Yeah, time management is really hard when you have a lot of free time, and organizing your schedule in a way that you can have fun but then also get your schoolwork done is really hard, because having fun is, it's more important.
For sure, you're
it's
in college.
What everybody else wants to do. So like getting schoolwork done on time it's hard for me, I guess.
Yeah, I'm with you. It's time management has never been a thing that I'm good at to begin with. So anything else, underrated things about college that people don't think about?
I don't know. I feel like a lot of people like are
words are hard. Yeah.
Sorry. I feel like a lot of people are aware of this, but like the independence that comes along with being in college is really cool. Just like being away from your parents and getting to live on your own if you live in the dorms and stuff is a freeing experience. And even if like you're a commuter, like just being able to have your own schedule and be like, just, I don't know, it's a taste of adulthood and being on your own.
For sure. I definitely agree with the adulthood stuff, because like there's many times you're just like you're on your own. You don't got your parents to wake you up in the morning. It's just like
your parents woke you up.
Look, 6:30. It's hard to wake up. It's hard to wake up, but like it's just like you get to go to school. You're by yourself. You feel me? It's like a step up, and I think it's underrated because like you're really growing into yourself, into your like adulthood, and it's like really nice. You feel me? Like you get to go do things on your own. Like have a couple of friends take you to the grocery store or something. You know what I'm saying? Just
grocery shopping.
Grocery
really,
shopping. It's a thing. Yeah, it's a thing. So that's what I'm saying. Like that's like steps to adulthood. Like you start understanding and realizing stuff, and I think that's the most underrated thing. Like I like that.
For sure. And you've kind of come up with this system for your grocery shopping. You've got that receipt thing. What is that? Because you've explained it to me about 14 different times, and I'm like, yeah, for sure.
It's very simple. So before I go shopping, I always make a shopping list because, that's what any normal person should do. So I make a list. I think that's what people should do. I make a list, and then I have this app called Ibotta. This is not an ad, but...
Right, not a paid sponsor. Ibotta is not a paid sponsor of the College Years Podcast. Continue.
And I just, you can look up the things that you're going to go buy and add them. So, for example, if I wanted a specific brand of chocolate milk, they have the specific brand, you add it, and then...
Kevin watched me lean in. It was that's great. All right, go on.
And then you buy your items, and then you scan your receipt afterwards, and you get cash back. You can get several dollars back every time you go shopping. I have collected much money.
I collected much money.
I'm sorry.
Much money. Much money.
I'm so mad.
I said that to Beyonce when I met him for the first time. I spent much money at your store. Much money.
I spent much money.
All right, so I don't know if the audience knows, but we are in the midst of a superstar. Both high school and post-high school, Haylee Perry is a superstar. Zarek, you are as well, but I'm going to focus on Haylee for just a second. Haylee joined Youth to Youth, whatever year you joined. The
same year you
I
did.
And I just mean that you are a year younger, so you're sophomore year, right? That makes sense. So a 3-year Youth to Youth star. And Zarek came along, while I was phasing out, and you were hitting, your stride. And for all of us, if I can speak for you, which I usually do, when Youth to Youth came into our lives, it sort of, became the center of like what we did. I lived at the Youth to Youth office my senior year by choice.
You weren't forced out.
No. So I know, at least speaking for myself, when I became involved in Youth to Youth, it sort of took over the extracurriculars that I did because it was so impactful for me. So I'm just curious as to some of the things you're involved in now, some things you'd like to be involved in, or if you were given a second chance, what you would be involved in your current institution.
So right now, I'm honestly not that involved on campus. Mostly.
Oh, I call BS. You are so involved.
Okay, would you like to explain how I'm involved then? I was going to get to the one thing that I'm involved in.
But
You're Haylee Perry.
Depth, not breadth.
Okay, let me just start over then.
Yeah, go.
I'm heavily involved on campus.
Yeah, you are.
I'm not. So right now I'm in the process of getting my own organization started on campus. I technically started it last year, but we didn't get much done, and then COVID hit, so we really couldn't get anything done. But this year we're kind of starting over and actually making the organization a thing. So it's called Educators Rising. It was something I was involved in high school, but there's a collegiate program now, and so it's for education majors to get some professional development, connect with other education majors, and I am the founder and technical president of it, so that's really cool. However, that's kind of the only thing I'm involved with on campus, and I wish that there were some other organizations that I were involved in, but I feel like now that I'm a senior, it's kind of too late to, get myself in those organizations. But my first year of college, I was involved in this organization called AMP. It stands for Activity Management and Programming, and I joined it because it's reminded me a lot of Youth to Youth and committee nights and stuff. They basically are the organization that creates all the free events on campus for students, so you literally get to meet in committees and plan an entire campus event, and it's really cool. And so I wish I had stayed involved with that so that I could have, gone up and been a part of the executive board and actually done real behind the scenes work, I guess.
For sure. And you mentioned that connection piece and the networking stuff with Educators Rising. I kind of want to go back to that. How big do you think networking is as you move forward, in college or beyond? In your adult life, how big do you think that connection networking piece is?
I think it's incredibly important, especially for me as someone who wants to be a teacher and who is, within these next few months, I will be looking at schools and starting to email some people to talk about interviews and things. And so I personally have had a lot of chances to meet some superintendents across the state of Ohio, some principals, some teachers, and even people who are in the Ohio Department of Education. So I think I have more of an advantage than some of my students. I am not a teacher yet. I have more of an advantage than some of my classmates because I don't think a lot of them have had the chance to network and connect with people who are in the educational field. But it's definitely a good idea to get started on that as soon as possible. As soon as you know what your major is, you should start connecting with people who are in that field in the real world.
For sure. Absolutely. Zarek, what are you involved in?
I'm involved in quite a few things. I was a part of the football team. obviously no longer anymore. But I am thinking of getting on the track and field team and the discus. Why not? Right. Get myself
discus need thrown.
Just to keep myself active. But I am part of M2S2, which is this group, black men on campus, and we kind of come together on a Monday night, and we just kind of talk about things, how we can help each other out as black men, because we're on a predominantly white campus, so we want to help empower each other, throughout, times in college. Just talk about financial stuff, like grades, like give each other references to other things. So that's one of the first groups I joined since my freshman year. I just now became on the exec board for this another group called CBS, Concerned Black Students. It's been around for like 50 years, and I didn't know like how historical that organization was until I finally like got myself more involved in it. And like now I kind of like set myself up to be on the exec board, and I just got added to the group chat yesterday. So I'm very looking forward to that. Basically it's just, that's where every minority is in it.
Right.
It's not just, us black people. It's, it's definitely other people, different backgrounds and identities, and we all come together and we just create events on campus, like do presentations and like do stuff and like just, have a sense of camaraderie. Like we're just together. And it's really nice, and I'm glad I'm a part of it now. I'm in part of this Wittenberg, I guess the name all the time is Diversity and Inclusion Committee. So that just started about 3 years ago, so it's relatively new. We started it this past semester, but then COVID hit, so we didn't really take off as much as we did. We only had like 2 meetings this past year, but found myself to be on it now. There's another committee I'm on. So honestly, all the stuff I'm on is it's a lot, but it's actually something meaningful and I wanted to do. Especially how I like to talk to people, network with others. And I met even though the campus is small, I'm meeting people that I didn't know on campus, and even outside of campus. We work with with M2S2, we work with Central State, even Ohio State. And sometimes we went up to Kent State one time just to talk to their Black Students program up there. Don't know the name, but it's really nice. I really like being a part of those organizations, because it's again I want to be able to be a part of diversity and inclusion, just be able to be with people who are either like me or different from me, and I can learn from them. And I think it's really nice that I am with those groups, and yeah.
For sure. So it's kind of interesting. They say, I went to my orientation and they were like, there's a club for everything that you could possibly want in your college experience. There's a club for it. And I didn't quite believe them. And then I started hearing some of the really obscure clubs that are on campuses. And you can think about some of the obscure ones that you have on your campus, but I kind of want to read some of the ones that I just pulled up here and get your thoughts on them. So the first one I have pulled up here, and by first one I mean I have to scroll now because anything that you're interested in, you can pretty much find a club for that on your campus, is what I've seen. There's everything from Quidditch to, hummus club is one that I'm seeing here, which is, I hate hummus, so I can't imagine being a part of that.
I don't like hummus either.
Yeah, it's the texture for me.
Yeah, it's just the taste. I don't.
Okay, all right. Sure. There's also a group called Deuces at Western Michigan University. It stands for Dignified, Educated, United Crust Eaters Society. That's pizza crust.
That's incredible.
Okay.
Yeah, so do you eat... This is the description on their club website. Do you eat crust on your pizza? For me, it all depends on how hungry I am. When I'm... I can't even finish this. But I say all of that to say there's a club for everything. And whether it's professional development or just, crust eating, I imagine there's something for everybody. So that's cool. Well, good stuff.
We have a watching paint dry club on campus.
No way.
Yeah.
Come on.
Watching
Being
paint
so serious.
dry?
I mean, I don't actually know what they do. Like, if they just go, I don't know where the paint that's being dried is at. Like, no buildings on campus are being repainted, but like,
Right.
I don't know. But yes, that is a thing.
Holy crap.
There's something for everyone.
It's definitely.
That's wild. I'm trying to think of the most obscure. I just know there's Quidditch, which really isn't that obscure when we're talking about paint drying and crust eating. I'm trying to think. There are a handful that I've been loosely involved in. There's this group on campus called Moana Funzi, which is the Black Social Work Association, essentially. And then the Bell National Resource Center. But other than that, it's been kind of youth to youth for me, and that's taken up most of my time, which is cool. It's work in the community and less on campus, and quite frankly, like, I care less about campus than I do youth to youth. Yeah. So I've been kind of content just not doing a whole lot on campus. But yeah, that's that on that. So and speaking of how much youth to youth is sort of meant to me and not, I don't want to say taken over my life, because that sounds not good. But the ways in which that youth to youth has kind of set you up and set me up. I just think about, going into a new college experience where you are, forced to interact with folks that you don't know. And to your point about the networking stuff, like, you're going to have to interact with them down the line, and you may need a favor from them. Youth to youth, like, for me, has sort of forced me to understand that interacting with people in a positive way is the best way to kind of navigate your life. And it set me up for that success, because I'm not nearly as awkward as I used to be. I don't wear Sperry's anymore and white shorts. And,
that was a great time for you.
You think?
Not really, but I remember the shorts.
I don't think I remember that, Cam.
Yeah, thank God. Yeah, it was not a good time. I'm sure we can pull a picture of that from somewhere, and it's just not good. No, I didn't wear cargo shorts. I'm not a sociopath.
You had like the colorful, longer shorts.
Yeah.
I was golfing all the time before I golfed. That's gross. Yeah, Sperry's were the thing. What else? I'm trying to think.
I don't even know.
I wore those baseball tournament shirts a lot, like, just to show it. Yeah, just to show people, like, oh yeah, I play sports.
Right.
What are you gonna do about it? Like, yeah, that was bad. So it sort of set me up to not be that person when I move forward and have a clean slate going into my freshman year. So what are some of the ways that youth to youth prepared you guys for college? Clearly not for this interview.
I think just being able to talk to people and, like, have that sense of, like, okay, let's talk to somebody. Because I know definitely, like, during youth, when I was in youth to youth, as a youth staff, you guys always make me talk to, like, other people.
How dare they?
Right, how dare they?
And by you guys, you mean not me.
I wasn't. I don't know why I looked at you.
Yeah, don't do that.
Definitely. Well, I want to say it wasn't forced, but, like, it was more like, go talk to somebody new and different. So I think going into college, taking that, like, little skill from youth to youth into college, I'm able to talk to people who I wouldn't think I would talk to, in a sense. Definitely, like, in a class, like, we had this little FYS thing, or freshman seminar, and we kind of have, like, a little group of classmates, and after class, I would, like, go up to talk to somebody. And actually, one person I talked to was my friend Bo. He was really cool, and I remember just talking to him, and I didn't even know he lived on my floor, but I decided to talk to him, and we was talking, and found out he lived on my floor. And ever since then, we've just been, like, close ever since. But, like, yeah, just, like, stuff like that, just being able to talk to people, and just building that connection, like, just because I don't know, it's just you go up to somebody, like, hey, just simple as, hey, my name is Zarek, and then you guys just start talking and conversating or conversing. I don't know the word. But yeah, just, it's that. Like, I like that aspect, what youth gave me there.
See, I wish I could say the same. I don't know. Like, I feel like I was so good at, like, making connections at conference and stuff, and then I got to college and I was like, nope, I don't know how to do that at all. Like, really? I went away completely. And I think it had something to do with the fact that nobody else no other college students, like, get acquainted activities, and they don't like the whole just a random person coming up to you and
Used
be
to-
like, hey, I'm
yeah.
Haylee, it's nice to meet you. But like, that's what I was used to at conference. And like, I don't know, it just kind of, it was a blow to my self-esteem, I guess, to hear people be like, man, I hate playing these stupid games. I hate getting to know people. And I was like, but I want to get to know you. So that sucked. But Youth to Youth did prepare me by giving me some confidence. Like, I definitely was not confident in high school. I think we can all agree to that. And I don't think that if I had gained that confidence through my 3 years in Youth to Youth, that I would have been able to start an organization on campus, be able to talk to my professors when I had issues, talk to my advisor when I needed help, make the like friends that I did make without using get acquainted activities. But like I don't think I would have been successful in college had I not gained those like skills throughout high school. What about you, Cam?
Yeah.
I think I definitely talked about this already.
Okay, sorry.
But it forced me to not wear white shorts. But yeah, I mean, really, it allowed me to realize that once I left this space, I sort of had two choices. I could continue the stuff that I loved about Youth to Youth, or I could completely, I guess there were three options. I could completely have a blank slate and start over and no one know anything about anything, with me, or I could do kind of a combination of both of those, start with a clean slate, but also bring a lot of the things that I know and love about Youth to Youth and into the interactions that I have. And I think I did that third option that I didn't realize existed until 12 seconds ago, and sort of found a way to incorporate the best parts about Youth to Youth and then make them work for where I was at. And I think that's, something that is not easy for everyone, but it seemed to work for me. And I think it put me in a better spot than maybe some of my colleagues. I just use colleagues. Yeah, I go to Ohio State.
Okay. We're just classmates at Capital.
Yeah, right, exactly. So we're going to play a little game here called Myth versus Fact, sort of, I suppose, ish, because these aren't necessarily myth or fact, set in stone myths and facts, okay? These are just based on your experience. So I hearken back to the title, Myth versus Fact, sort of, I suppose. College edition. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to read a phrase to you about college. That makes sense. About college. And you are going to, on the count of three, we are all three going to say myth or fact. So in your experience, is that a myth or a fact? All right?
Got it.
Yep.
Cool. Zarek won the coin toss backstage. So no, there. I'm just kidding. All right. So pick a number 1 through 4.
2.
2 it is. All right. Ooh, a heavy hitter to start off. All right. You can go to parties and not drink. 1, 2, 3.
Fact.
All right, I'll start because I kind of had a unique experience going to OU my first year, party capital of the United States, darn near. So it's funny. My first weekend at OU, of course, it's racing through my mind. Oh my gosh, someone's going to walk up to me and they're going to force an alcoholic beverage down my throat, and I have no choice but to accept. That sounded so bad. My first weekend, obviously thoughts are racing. Like, what is this going to be like? Are people just going to have alcohol, like walk into class? Are they going to offer me as I walk? Like, is the professor going to be like, what's up, man? Like, let's, whatever. So that was my first thought. And, we were kind of like, all right, let's walk. My roommate and I were like, let's walk the streets of downtown Athens, not downtown Athens, like over where the houses are and things like that. Let's go walk that area. Like, we're not going to drink and we're going to roll. Like, let's just walk and see what it's about. And no joke, like, we walk onto whatever the street was. I don't remember. I've kind of blocked it out, but I walk down and there's like this older, probably senior, and she's like, you want to like beer bong this? And I was like, no, I'm cool. And then she just was like, all right, cool. So I, contrary to, well, I guess it kind of fit my thoughts, but also didn't, because she wasn't like, oh, you're a loser, man, like you suck. She was just like, oh, cool, no big deal. But that kind of like in your face stuff was sort of there. But you can certainly be in those spaces. For me, at least, you can be in those spaces and not drink, and people are totally cool with it. In some ways, more cool with it, in my experience, than it was in high school. Like people are like, oh, that's cool, man. You don't do that. That's better than me. So
why is that always the phrase? Like,
right, that's it. It's like, oh, like I could, yeah, man.
I wish I wasn't.
Right. Well, yeah. So, that's just my, kind of my interesting experience being at one of the party schools in the nation. So, yeah.
I think that's how I'll go. Wittenberg is like, so it's, I would say for how small it is, there's a lot of parties that goes on within. And my freshman year, I went to a lot of parties. And one thing my friends always told me was that I was the dad of the group because I didn't drink, and all of them drank, and it was like, Zarek, you gotta be the guy who's always sober so you can just, take us back when we were drunk. And I'm like, all right, I guess I could do that, and when I first told them that like I didn't drink or like, didn't do drugs or anything, at first they were just like, oh, like you don't drink, like Zarek, you're a football player, like, you have to do something. I'm like, what does that have to do with anything? Like I just didn't want to. And like, at first it was kind of like, it would get me a little anxious because I was like, oh man, like people really think I have to drink like once you're in college. But they got used to it real quick because we went to this like club or whatever.
Club in Springfield.
Yeah, that's surprising.
That's an oxymoron.
Yeah, so we went to this club, and it was literally the second night of my like being on campus. Yeah, this is
like
it's a little tiny,
like an
like
equestrian club,
bar.
like a golf club.
No, I mean it's a
country
bar.
club.
I mean a bar.
Okay,
it's a karaoke bar, right?
Yeah. Actually, there was like a band like playing in the bar. It was weird.
So not a club.
I don't even know.
Yeah, let's be clear. It wasn't Lil Jon.
It wasn't Lil Jon. It was some weird band. I don't know.
3 fifth-year seniors and their younger sibling who lives down the street.
Yeah, I mean, but I remember.
So we can agree it wasn't a club. All
yeah,
right,
definitely was.
Right. Sorry, carry on.
No, it was. So I remember just walking with them, and they was just having fun talking. Oh, I'm gonna drink so much and whatnot. They was like, Zarek, you gotta drink. And I'm like, y'all, like, no, like I'm not gonna drink and whatnot. One of them was pretty obnoxious. He was trying to like force me to like drink and stuff, and I was like, dude, I'm not. And after like a while of them just trying to like force me to drink, and one of my friends was like, all right, look, he does not drink, let's respect that, and it surprised me because I was just like, y'all pestered me this whole night, and all of a sudden, you guys respect it, and it was just like cool. And ever since then, like they literally haven't like, just been upset that I don't drink. They kind of take it in as like, yes, someone's sober, let's go, come on, right. And going to parties with my friend group, people are very like understanding that you don't, like if you don't. And I remember going to my like the first party house, like a house party, and they offered me a beer, and I was like, nah, dude, I'm fine. And he was like, all right, cool, and went on about his day. And I was like, okay. like I wanted him to, like, I don't know. I wanted him to ask me more.
Right. Like, you're like, I was built for this. Yeah, like ask me why I don't drink.
Right. Like I was ready to have the answers and everything. Like, why don't you drink? Like I was ready. And he just walked away. And I was like, all right.
Are you sure?
Yeah. Right.
Come back.
Are you like, you sure don't offer anything? I'm still saying no, but
right.
but just that, and it just really caught me by surprise. And ever since then, I really haven't had anybody offer me or like really trying to force me to drink. Like there's sometimes it was like, okay, he doesn't drink, but I still want to play beer pong, and I'm like, I don't know about that, like they just wanted me to, just play with them, but not actually drink, so they still try to include me in like the fun that they have. And, it is really nice. Like, it's really nice to know that people don't actually like force you to drink. But yeah, that's one thing. That's why it's definitely a fact that, I forgot the fact now.
And you've got like that added responsibility of being like an RA too. So
for sure.
That's a lot of times people, and myself included, fall back on their responsibilities. Is so that's interesting. All right, cool.
My turn.
For sure, that's my fault. That's my bad.
So I guess it's different for me because I've never been to a party. I
also cool.
Yeah, you know how to go to parties. I've had a good college experience without going to them, but
sure.
I am very much so out of the loop of the parties. I just don't even pay attention to them. But I have been to actual clubs, on OSU's campus, because there are none on Capital's campus.
Yeah, much like there aren't on Wittenberg's campus. Yeah. Springfield's campus.
But I've been to actual clubs, and I didn't drink at them, but I went with friends who were drinking, and I mean, that was a very, very easy environment to not drink in. I don't know, it's really easy to just dance and not have people ask you if you want drinks, I guess. But there have been a few times where I'm hanging out with friends and they're just casually drinking in the dorms or whatever, which is not allowed, but they were doing it. Or my roommate last year in our apartment, they were drinking. And I'd get asked to drink, and I'd always say no. And whoever they were drinking with, their friends who didn't know me, would always ask me, "Oh, but why don't you drink?" I don't like that question. I know Zarek was excited to have people ask him that, so he could use all those ways to say no that you two taught us. But I don't really have a specific reason, or there wasn't. Right. I wasn't I have had this rough experience in my life. Right. I know that is the reason for some people, but I just chose not to. So I didn't like having to explain that to people, because then they'd be like, "Oh, but why?" and keep pressing it. So, but honestly, no one's really asked me or forced me to drink or anything. So
cool. Myth versus fact, sort of, kind of, number 2. College professors don't care about your success. This too real for you? Should I skip this one?
Ouch.
All right.
I gotta think of my answer.
We're gonna do it. 1, 2, 3. Fact.
Wait, can you repeat the question?
Honestly, I forgot.
I forget which one I was.
College professors don't care about your success. 1, 2, 3. Fact.
Myth.
The myth.
Yeah, I should put an asterisk next to mine, because it's only kind of true when I say that.
Yeah, same.
I only say that because professors, in my experience, haven't ever emailed me and been like, "Hey, man, you didn't turn this in. Is everything okay?" Because they've got a million other things to be doing. I don't know if it means that they don't care about you or your success. I just think it means that they have other things going on that they can't really focus on one individual. And that may be different on smaller campuses. But, in my experience, that's kind of been the case. So, no, they don't care. Asterisk.
So that's a myth, in my opinion, except for on some occasions, like today. We won't get it. I don't want to get into it.
This is not a family group.
Yeah, I don't want to get into it. But there are, Capital is a small school, so my class sizes are much smaller than I would assume Ohio State's are. And so I have a personal relationship with most of my professors, especially specifically education professors. And since the class sizes are small, when you're in person, it's very easy to see everybody's faces and stuff. So my professors are really good at being "Oh, we need to stop. Let's talk about where you're all at," which is really nice. I have had a few professors who, specifically my biology professor. Biology is a much bigger class than all of my other classes. It's I had 50 people in my class, and that professor taught multiple sections, so they were teaching several students, and they didn't have time to specifically take care of only me when there's so many other students, which I'm sure is the same thing for what you were saying. Yeah. But in general, I think that professors are there to make sure that you are prepared for your future career, and I've had a good experience with most of mine, so that's cool.
Yeah, I think I'm pretty grateful with the professors that I've had, especially being these years in college. Just
that's what we're talking about.
In college,
especially being these years in college.
Yeah,
I'm well past. What did you say earlier? I'm well past 2 years.
Well past 2 years.
Yeah, a couple months. Yeah, past 2 years. Thank you for that.
God.
but just like the professors that I had, they've been really great. Like I know like being a psychology major, I will only think my psychology professors would be the ones to be like really interactive with me and like getting like giving me connections and helping me out. But honestly, like since Wittenberg's liberal arts school, we have to learn like everything. I had like English professors, music professors, and they also like email me and be like, hey, like, you know, you didn't turn this in. Like, what's going on? You know, are you okay? Like, I'll give you this date to turn it in. Or they'll be like, hey, come to my office hour and let's talk about this. And it surprised me because especially my freshman year, my first semester, when they hit me up, like, through email, and I was just like, why is this person emailing me? Like why,
right,
you know? And she was telling me, like, hey, like, come to my office hour, I want to talk to you. And it was about my paper, which I did horrible on. And she was just like, hey, like, you know, just between me and you, we're gonna do this paper, let's redo this, you know, and I'll regrade it. But I need you to follow this, this, and this. And that kind of like really opened my eyes, and I was like, whoa, like they care, you know? Yeah. And I was like very grateful to have that kind of experience and have that, you know, that close connection to them. You know, I'm able to talk to them and be able to like actually have conversations with them, even outside of, you know, class. Like one of my professors actually gave me a recommendation to be an RA now, and you know, like that was something that surprised me again. It was just like, I don't know, being at a small school, I guess, really helps out with that. And I feel like that goes for like any professors anywhere. Like if they really want you to succeed or they don't want to see you fail, you know,
right.
I feel like that's where, you know, they're going to come in and give you that little close connection, help you out when you need it. And, you know, I've just been grateful to have all my professors be like that.
For sure. And I found that connection is huge. Like, professors seem to care about your success as much as like you care about your success, or like care to show them that you care about your success, and like being connected to them, like you said, like they can write you letters of recommendation for a whole host of things, as long as you know, show that you care about what you're doing and what they're teaching and things like that. And that's huge.
See, I was going to say that I was impressed that your professors actually reached out, because like I feel like in college you have to be aware of how well you're doing, and you have to be the person who like emails them. Like I feel like I can't expect my professors to ever initiate like checking in on me because I'm an adult now. Like I have to be responsible for my own schoolwork. And so, I mean, I have like reached out to my professors and been like, I have no idea what we're doing. I need help. But like, they've never done the same back to me, I guess, because why would they?
Right.
I don't know.
Yeah, I feel that. Like they don't, certainly not about school. But I think also when you make that connection with a professor and you're like, I don't know if this has happened for you all, but just like it's extended past the classroom over a couple of years or whatever, they start to check in about just normal things.
Right.
How's life? How's stuff going? You know, let's find a time to, you know, to talk, catch up, whatever. And, you know, it just furthers that stuff. So I think that, you know, that connection part is huge in seeing their, whatever I was going to say. Words are hard. Yeah.
That was good.
For sure. All right. Question number 3. Let's do, this is tough. You can skip classes and still do well. 1, 2, 3.
Myth.
Whoa. Okay.
Oh my gosh.
Oops.
Go ahead. Speak words.
Okay. So I will. Let me premise this by saying.
Preface. Yeah.
That does not sound
English teacher.
I'm sorry. I'm nervous.
Every time you apologize, I'm sorry. I'm nervous.
Stop bullying me. I'm having a rough day. Okay, I'm
you're
literally
like a female
so sweaty.
50 Cent. Your mouth is always. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
Let me preface this. Let me preface this by saying I don't skip class often. I probably have skipped class like 6 times over the past 3 years. But all of the classes that I skipped them. What are you doing math
It's
for?
twice a year.
Oh, I was about to say the same thing twice a year.
Right,
math.
something like that.
Right. I'm no math teacher. Go on.
Me either. Anyway, all of the classes that I have skipped, I skipped them because I realized that all of the information is on, like, we use this website called iLearn where professors upload anything that we need for the class, and they always upload their PowerPoints. I've had so many professors where everything they do in class is available for you without needing to be in the class. And as long as you, like, read your syllabus and stay up on what you're supposed to be doing, I think it's possible. I do not think it's possible to skip every single class and then expect to pass, especially because participation is sometimes built into your grade. Mm-hmm. But I think, like, I definitely think I could have skipped many more classes throughout my years, and I would have been happier because my classes stressed me out, and I still would have done just as well.
Yeah, I hear you. Going into that, I didn't expect to agree with you as much as I do.
Wow.
But
would you look at that?
I'm sort of with you. I didn't really skip many classes at all. But I did feel when I did skip class, the catching up was not quite as easy as what you described. Like,
for sure,
yeah. I don't know. It may be the way we learn. Like, I can't do the, like, let me catch up exactly with what the professor said, just because there's so many things that I feel like they say that isn't on the slides, or,
That's fair.
Something like that. Like, they'll be like, oh, this, you don't actually have to worry about this, or this will be on the test, so blah, 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 blah. So I've sort of struggled any time that I have skipped a class or multiple classes in a semester to catch up. So I wouldn't advise it, but it's doable. I like, yeah. Youth is not condoning skipping class.
Yeah, I'm not either. I need to say that. Yeah, I wasn't saying you should skip class. I'm just saying, like, everybody needs a mental health break sometimes.
For sure.
And, like, you should skip class if you need to, and it's nice. Sometimes it's not even a mental health break. Sometimes you just need to, like, sleep in, or you just don't want to talk to people that day. So don't go to class and take care of yourself.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, I mean, you kind of just nailed it on the head right there. You know what I'm saying? It's just, I don't know, like, you can skip classes to take a break for yourself, but, like, like Cam said, I don't advise skipping class, because there's going to be times where you're going to miss that one day. It's always that one day you skip class, and then all of a sudden you go back to, your next class, and it's just like, what did we go over? Like, we went over a chapter, took 2 quizzes. You feel me?
So that's why you read your syllabus. I don't get pop quizzes, so, like, I know when all my quizzes are. I don't know if that's
I suck at reading my syllabuses. I didn't start till this year.
How about your syllabi?
How is that hard? Why is it hard to read them? I'm confused. I missed that. I was talking.
He said I don't read my syllabuses.
Yeah.
How about your syllabi?
Okay.
She doesn't understand how English works.
No, you guys were saying something after that, though. Or you were just laughing? Okay. It sounded like you were whispering something. I don't know.
No, it's just syllabuses.
Okay, sorry. My ears are messed up. We established
Maybe
that earlier.
Sausage in
Hey guys, remember when I choked on sausage this morning? Fun.
Somebody's angry. Somebody's really bad.
Why is it hard to read your syllabi, though?
Well, first of all,
can't read.
It's not.
That's the true reason why I just can't read.
He starts sweating. He's like, what? That's great.
I mean, I think it was just, like, discipline. Like, I just didn't go to check to see what's due.
So it's not hard to read them. You just didn't.
I just didn't read them. Yeah.
Got it.
So I don't know. Like, so if we did have a pop quiz and I show up to class and, like, pop quiz, I'm like,
Pop quizzes are surprises. They would not be in the syllabus.
yeah.
That's why I said I don't. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
Have you had any classes with pop quizzes? Because I've had one.
I don't think so.
I had 2 this past.
What classes? That sounds
a music class.
A pop quiz of music.
Exactly.
Like, whose album just dropped? We're going to wrap this segment of the College Years podcast up with a little finish the sentence. So I'm going to give you the sentence, and I'll finish it first, and then you all can finish it, and then we'll finish this podcast. So finish the sentence. One thing I wish someone would have told me going into my freshman year is blank because blank. I wish somebody would have told me, Cameron, enjoy it while it lasts. And stop to smell the roses. That's a saying people say, I think.
Mm-hmm.
So I say all of that because I'm in my 5th year. Standard practices is 4 years. And there was a lot of, stress and anxiety about this 5th year. Like, oh my gosh, I'm going to be behind and this and that. And so for a long time, during my 3rd and 4th years, so much of it was caught up in worrying about being behind that I wasn't excited about the things that were right in front of me, whether that was work, school, friendships, and things like that. So really just taking the time to enjoy where you're at, because in a few years you'll have to be an adult, and we all know that sucks from the grocery shopping that we've done. So I wish somebody would have told me to just breathe and enjoy it. And that's probably my thing.
Give me the sentence starters things.
One thing I wish someone would have told me going into my freshman year is blank because blank. You don't really have to. The because thing is just say why.
One thing I wish someone had told me before I went into my first year of college, because that's what we call it at Capital University.
Freshman is derogatory. I forgot.
Yeah.
I apologize.
One thing I wish someone had told me was to take more classes that I'm interested in, because when I would register for classes each semester, I kind of just let my advisor tell me the courses that I needed to take to graduate, and then I'd be like, okay, give me some electives, or I guess I wouldn't even take the electives that I could have taken. I just did the bare minimum for credit hours when I could have taken a lot of really interesting classes that had nothing to do with my major, but were just cool things to take. And there's a lot of cool classes at Capital that I could have taken advantage of, but now I don't have time. So,
magic class.
Yeah, how much did you spend on your magic class, Kevin?
The same as I spent on my communications class. What is it at Capital? $2,000 a credit hour?
Something like that.
But you can do some cool magic tricks.
One.
Yeah. I think.
Woo! I think.
It's all right. Basically, my freshman year, I was very stressed out about a lot of things. I had football on my plate. I was worried about what organizations I was going to be in, school, how much schoolwork I was going to have. How I was thinking how much difference going to be from high school to now. I don't have any of my friends. All I had my 2 cousins with me, and that's about it. And I was just stressed about so much stuff that necessarily I didn't really need to be so stressed about, because a lot of times they kind of just came naturally. I forgot who I was as a person. So meeting people was kind of something I do. I like meeting people. I like talking to people and stuff. And I didn't have a reason to stress about that, but I was. So I was stressing over little things, and I kind of had to get myself out of that. And I remember talking to my dad about it, and I was like, I'm just stressing over just being here at Wittenberg, because it's different. It's a different seeing everybody's it's a new slate, yada yada yada, and it's just okay, I gotta, do I have to show out, or do I just be laid back? It was just a bunch of stuff going through my head, and my dad was like, look, dude, you only have 4 years of this, enjoy it, because this is something you're gonna miss once you graduate. And it kind of just stuck with me. I was like, he's right. I'm only here for a short amount of time. I'm only here for a couple years. That's about it. And it's just, enjoy it. Make friends, do well in school, do well. Anything you do, just make it a memory. Because college is fun. College is very fun. And, you have to... Yeah, college is it's one of those experiences where you're not going to get it for the rest of your life after you graduate. And that's where I was struggling with that. And it didn't take me until literally talking to my dad and then letting myself go, just letting myself all right, breathe. Now let's have fun. Let's get this work done. Let's get your mind right, just be the person, that you want to be, and also having fun. So that's what I wish I was told beginning of my freshman year. Yeah.
I also wish somebody would have told me going to a community college is okay.
Yeah, for sure.
I was so close to going to Columbus State, and then I was I got an extra scholarship, and I was like, yep, I'm out of here. I'm going to go pay so much money at Capital.
Right. It's there's that stigma of if you go to a community college, fill in the stigma here. It's just you can save so much money.
So
And
much
imagine how much better my first year would have been than if I would have gone to Columbus State as opposed to OU. Yeah.
Save a lot of money.
I probably would have graduated by now also. So there's that. But life goes on.
Yeah, you know.
Well, thank you two for being here.
Thanks for having us.
Well,
Thank you for having me.
You're welcome. No problem. College is tough. College is fun. College can be fun. In some cases, it's not. But yeah, I don't know where I was going with this. But for Haylee and Zarek, I'm Cam. This was the College Years Podcast.
That was weird. I didn't like it.